Hello and welcome to Health Talk. I'm Dr. Manny. Pro Football Hall of Famer Troy Aikman knows how to prepare for a Super Bowl, and he's got 3 rings to prove it. But in 1998, nothing prepared him for a battle against melanoma, the most severe form of skin cancer. Now the former Cowboys quarterback is teaming up with Novartis Oncology to raise awareness about the condition with the national campaign Melanoma Just Got Personal. Nice to see you here.
Thank you.
Now, if everybody sees you, say, this individual lives well, he exercises, takes care of himself, has all these things, and yet you develop melanoma.
Right.
How did that happen, and how did you pick it up?
Well, how it happened, I guess, is up for debate. Most people would think that it's just because of sun exposure, and although that's a part of it, there's a genetic component as well. But it was on my back shoulder, and I was just getting out of the shower one day and drying off and just happened to notice it. And fortunately for me, it was in an area that I could notice it. And I went to a dermatologist and got it checked, and about a week later, I got a call and was asked to come in, and they told me that it was melanoma, and I didn't know what that meant. Really was pretty naive to what melanoma was, and I got educated in a hurry, and fortunately for me, they found it in stage 2.
Which is earlier than
Right, so they were able to surgically remove it. There was no need for any other procedure. There was no chemo, there was no radiation, and as I've learned, a lot of people aren't as fortunate as I was in catching it as soon as I did.
Women, and I'm a women's doctor, I guess, they understand the skin physical. Guys don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we know a little bit about prostate, we know a little bit about cholesterol, but they don't know anything about melanoma or skin cancer for that matter.
Well, I think it's a good point. And for me, since it was 17, 18 years ago, I started going at that time twice a year, and I get checked up regularly, and I have not had a reoccurrence.
Right.
I've had suspicious moles or things taken off, but it's all come back dysplastic and everything's been fine. But, even with my story and friends of mine and buddies of mine that know that I had melanoma, and I've talked to them about it, even they have not yet gone and gotten regular checkups. So, certainly that's a big part of it.
Now, this campaign that you're part of, Melanoma Just Got Personal, what is this campaign all about?
Yeah, well, it's essentially early detection, obviously being a key part of it, as we just discussed. But the main purpose for this awareness program with Novartis is for those that weren't as fortunate as I was, and those that have melanoma in the advanced stages, and letting them know that there's not just one form of advanced melanoma, which I thought there was. I thought there was only one kind, but there are other forms, and in order to treat it properly, you need to know which form of advanced melanoma you have. So I've tried to make people aware of that simple fact and then draw them to the website where they can gain a lot more information, which is melanomajustgotpersonal.com. And make people aware of what's out there and get it treated properly. I've met a number of people with advanced melanoma, many of whom now know what form they have, and they're being treated properly, and it's certainly increased their chances of beating a very tough disease.
From a point of view of how do you protect yourself today? I think people, they see you out there, that you're still, incredibly active. How do you protect yourself, and also message for the family here?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. I'm an outdoor person. I love going outside. I play golf. I ride bikes. I go to the beach. I do a lot of different things. I've tried to be very proactive in how much sun exposure I get, and watch that very, very carefully. But probably the most important thing that I do is, as I said earlier, is I get regular checkups and try to stay ahead of it. I've got young daughters. It's a different time. It's a different generation.
Right.
My girls don't even consider going outside. They'll be the ones who tell me, "Dad, got to get sunscreen on." I mean, they're very proactive. And for us, we didn't even think about sunscreen. You just went out and you got burned. So that's certainly a shift, a generational shift in awareness to that. But for me, I get regular checkups, but again, the campaign isn't so much about prevention as much as it is just getting a message out to those with advanced melanoma and letting them know that there are more than one form, and making sure that they're being treated properly for the form in which they have.
You educate a lot of young athletes. You talk about this with young athletes about, hey, you're in the sun practicing for 4 or 5 hours. Think about protecting your skin. You ever mentioned that?
Yeah, you know what? And quite honestly, this is the first time I've really gone public with the fact that I even had melanoma. I mean, I addressed it at the time. I talked about what procedure I had back in 1998, but outside of my immediate family and friends, I really have not discussed it. And so this is a first for me. And the reason that one is I'm older and I'm a healthy guy. You opened up this conversation by saying that. I'm very active, and there was a part of me that didn't want people to think that I had experienced something that was personal. So I kept it that way. But now I want to get the message out. I want people maybe to help save some lives. And I think that those that go to the website, melanomajustgotpersonal.com, I really do believe that this campaign and the messaging that we've been able to get out, I'm confident we are saving lives.
All right, and you are. Believe me, you are saving lives. Last question I got to ask you, Super Bowl coming up, predictions?
Well, Carolina's a really good team, as is Denver. That's why they're playing in the Super Bowl. I've seen Carolina a lot the last few weeks, and they're playing their best football. Hey, I just hope it's a close game. It really shines a light on our game, and I hope that the game lives up to the billing. I'm a friend of Peyton Manning's. He's a sentimental favorite to me and to a lot of others. Whoever wins, it's going to be a great story.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And if you have any health questions, you can send them here at Fox at drmanny@foxnews.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Manny.